Diving right in, ladies and gentlemen, so as I mentioned in the intro for this video, we're going to be talking about stage 1230. With that being said, absolutely the best team compositions to build for this specifically, just like Guild Boss, is going to be single target damage dealing teams. Stages like 1230 are going to be very similar to the Guild Boss stage, where you're pretty much going to be trying to do as much damage as you can to the boss in a certain timed limit. And again, it's very, very tough, and that's going to be why it's very important to use single target damage dealing teams over something like AoE damage, because a lot of the AoE damage is not going to be focused on the boss as much as it is hitting anything and everything. So again, try to focus on that. For the very first team composition we've got here for you guys, and that's going to be probably the best team comp that you can build for 1230, and it's going to be the exact same composition as the Guild Boss battle. You got DC here, and with DC, there's a couple of things you need to know. I'm running on a full Searing Raspberry set. However, I will say that you can obviously run a full Solid Almond set, especially if you are struggling to beat this stage. The full Searing Raspberry set that I have is used strategically for Guild Boss battle, where the score is what I am going after, not so much the overall completion or beating the timer like you are in stage 1230, because we don't have a score timer here that we need to make sure to hit. Absolutely, if you're struggling, swap the toppings over to Solid Almonds to just add to the overall survivability, because DC really is going to be what increases your overall damage utilizing his skill. Next up we've got here, and that's going to be Sorbet Shark. Nothing special here for Sorbet Shark, just running a full Searing Raspberry set to just maximize the overall damage. Same thing goes for Vampire here. We're just running a full Searing Raspberry set. We just want to make sure that both of those units, since they're ambush, are doing the maximum amount of damage as they can to the overall boss. Third we got here, and that's going to be the brand new Eclair cookie. For Eclair, again, nothing special for stage 1230, unlike the Guild Boss, where you do need to be focusing in on a certain amount of cooldown, basically over 6%. However, for 1230, it doesn't matter. Run a full Searing Raspberry set to just maximize Eclair's damage again, so you can hopefully beat it in that same timer. And then last but not least, we are going to be running Cotton Cookie. Again, Cotton Cookie, if you don't know, is an absolute broken cookie in the game. Provides insane amount of healing. As far as toppings go, we are going to be running a full Swift Chocolate set. Again, just because I already have this built from the Guild Boss, and it works phenomenally here as well. You don't really need to be too concerned with like cooldown or anything like that. Again, I will say more cooldown the better, because then you can utilize her skill more often, thus healing your cookies more often and hopefully aiding to your survivability in the long run. And then as far as the three treasures go for this one, we've got the Old Pilgrim Scroll for attack percent. We've got the Slingshot, because that's going to be the method I'm going to show you in a second in gameplay. And then third, we've also got that Jelly Watch to just maximize the cooldown so everybody can utilize their skills as often as possible. And then diving into some gameplay here, first thing, run it on manual mode. Stop trying to auto it. Your skill rotations are not going to line up accordingly, and you're just going to struggle and potentially fail. Second thing, your skill timing is key here for this fight, just like Guild Boss battle. Utilize the Slingshot and utilize Dark Choco as often as you can prior to utilizing your DPS units. In this case, Eclair, Vampire, and Sorbet. Again, you want to utilize all three of those after you've utilized the Slingshot and DC's buff. With that being said, you're going to be diving into Cotton. Cotton, you just utilize whenever Cotton is available. You're going to be taking advantage of her healing as often as possible and her overall minions to help mitigate some of that damage. I want to interject here really quick in that you should be able to do it, is what I just said. However, there is going to be some dependencies. Your cookies do need level ups, your cookies do need skill ups, and your cookies do need to have the right topping sets. If you do not have those things, or you're lacking those things, then unfortunately you might have to farm those out before you can complete and beat the stage. But if you do and have those things in order, hopefully these tips and guides and this team composition will help you out. Alrighty, so now officially diving in here to a secondary comp that you could absolutely utilize if you do not have Eclair Cookie. Some of you guys might not have Eclair, or you might have somebody like a Rye Cookie built up. That's going to be a very good alternative. Again, Rye Cookie here, she's a very good single target damage dealer. When it comes to utilizing the toppings of choice, just run, again, very similar to, Sorbet and Vampire, and run a full Searing Raspberry set to just maximize her overall damage. Don't really focus on any specific substats at this point in time. Just utilize her there to do more damage when the time comes. Again, when it comes to the overall treasures, the exact same. We're going to utilize the exact same remaining 4 cookies as we did with the Eclair Cup. overcome. And then as you can see, diving into this fight, it's exactly the same thing you would do with running somebody like Eclair. The only difference here is that you want to just make sure that you are utilizing Rye right when you utilize Vampire and Sorbet after the Slingshot and DC. Sometimes when you utilize Eclair, you don't really need to have any other buff provided because Eclair does apply a weakness debuff that just makes that target take a lot more damage. So again, not really the end of the world, but Rye Cookie has no problem doing as much single target damage dealing as she possibly can and to allow you to beat this stage. Once again, just be smart with the overall skill rotation and make sure you are utilizing it to maximum efficiency. Now, officially diving in here to the third composition we've got, and that's going to be what if you do not have Eclair or you do not have Cotton or Pure Vanilla. If you guys do not have Cotton Cookie and you guys do not have Eclair Cookie, this composition will actually work. You should have no problem clearing 1230 again, as long as you got your skills leveled up and you've got the right topping sets and you've got enough levels on your overall cookies to beat the stage. This composition will absolutely shred. We've got DC here again to provide that defense break. However, this time we've got Licorice. Licorice here, we are running a full Swift Chocolate set. Again, not really focusing on individual substats for 1230 as you would in the Guild Boss battle. All you're looking for here is you're going to basically utilize the minions to your advantage. You need the minions there to just protect DC as much as possible from the boss, swiping and doing a mega ton of damage or potentially killing him. That's where Licorice comes into play. Licorice also provides a defense buff for your entire team. So again, very, very nice. And then last but not least here, we did swap in a herb cookie for Rye Cookie. If you do have a Rye Cookie, you could try it not utilizing a healer, but I'm going to tell you guys, it's very, very tough. So I would recommend drop Rye Cookie, and if you do not have somebody like a Cotton Cookie, put a herb cookie in here to give your overall healing. When it comes to running herb, run a full Searing Raspberry set. And the reason why you're running a full Searing Raspberry set on a cookie that doesn't attack, that's going to be because healing in Cookie Run Kingdom actually scales on overall attack percent. So even though herb does not provide any attack, the higher his attack overall is, the more healing that your cookies receive from his overall skill. And that's going to be what you are going to be looking for something like 1230, because again, you're just going to be making sure that he can keep your team alive. And then once again, just diving in here to this fight, it's very simple and very similar to everything else. The only difference here is going to be you pretty much have two main DPS units. In Licorice, you just want to utilize his skill as often as possible. But once again, sounding like a broken record here, you want to make sure that you are utilizing DC and the Slingshot first, then waiting for the timer to be perfect. Utilize both of those, hit Vampire, hit Sorbet at the exact same time, and then like I said, guys, use healing as often as you possibly can. Anytime herb is available, make sure you are popping him off to make sure that he is healing your entire team. And guys, you just have to be patient. You have to keep on running it over and over and over again. If you are running out of time, then I would say you need to focus on adjusting your toppings and making sure that you've got the better substats and trying to focus in on the additional attack for your damage dealers and also the additional damage resistance if your cookies are dying. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude today's video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We cover anything and everything Cookie Run Kingdom related here on the channel. Also, if you have any additional questions about this team composition, I invite you guys to join the Discord. The link's always provided down below in the description. We would love to have you over there, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.